Good evening, good morning, good night, whatever it is. This is Alvarado. So, this has been bothering me, and I hate talking about politics or any of that type of thing. But something I'm really, really tired of at this point is this slogan I keep hearing. It actually dates back to the late 60s. My body, my choice. Okay? I am so tired of hearing that. Okay? And do you know why I'm tired of hearing that? Okay, in 1973, Roe versus Wade went through and abortion was allowed around the country, blah, blah, blah. You know what else was started in 1973? The DEA. Now, my question, of course, is where were these My Body, My Choice people when almost 100,000 people, what am I saying, 100,000? Almost a half a million people have been arrested every year since 1973 for drugs. Now, one of the latest statistics I read was that in 2021 they arrested 1.5 million people for drugs, and out of that, over 500,000 of those people were simply for the possession of cannabis, marijuana, right? Where were these My Body, My Choice people during the drug war? Hundreds of thousands of people's lives, millions of people's lives were ruined, not because they were smoking a joint, but because of the consequences of the drug war. Where were they? They weren't anywhere to be found. My body, my choice just didn't seem to apply to those people. If we were to go down a list and think about all the things that this would apply to, if it was given a blanket application, it's a ton. One thing I want to say real quick about the cannabis, the drug thing, and the let's just use cannabis and the abortion thing is they had it their way. The whole country said, yeah, you can go ahead and abort whenever you want, blah, 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 right? Wherever you want. Well, guess what? What happened? This big Supreme Court case to make a big deal about overturning Roe versus Wade, what did it do? It returned that right or that privilege or whatever the hell you want to call it, it's not in the Constitution anywhere that I'm aware of, to the states. Guess what? Now they're on the same level as cannabis. What is it, 26 states, I think, have legalized cannabis for recreational use? Maybe 27? I can't remember. There's a lot. Okay. So they're in the same playing field as cannabis. Let the states decide. I live in Texas. Texas, there is no body my choice in regards to abortions or cannabis use. All right? None. And there's other states just like this one where there is no my body, my choice, whether it be for abortion or for smoking a joint. Okay? What about prostitution? Where were the my body, my choice people for prostitution? Why is that illegal? If it's your body, your choice, then if you want to sell your body, whose business is it? Well, of course, I'll tell you the bitter truth. The bitter truth about both the drug war and prostitution is just a couple examples. Taxation. If you're selling your body, it's off the record. The government doesn't get any taxes. Can't allow that to happen. If you're selling a bag of weed, you're not paying any taxes. That's why they're really illegal. Okay? The abortion thing, they can make money off that. Right? They can make big money off that. I mean, the amount of abortions that have happened in this country is ridiculous. Right up there in the same category as people who've been arrested for drug use. If we keep going, a great example, the shot. The shot. That for a lot of people was mandated. I know the federal government had mandated that their employees all get it. And I remember that for some people, they lost their jobs if they didn't take it. And in other countries, it was even worse. In Australia, for example, Canada. Okay. The United States is pretty bad too. Of course, that's by states too. In Texas, we were kind of lucky because, the stupid mask was another thing. My body, my choice. They always try to turn it around so that I'm a threat because I'm not wearing a mask. You know what I mean? I might get everybody sick. I've had COVID twice. Never been knocked out from it or anything like that. The second time I got it, both times I got it from students, by the way. One time from a coworker who got it from a student, and the other time I got it directly from a student who came sick. I didn't feel any need to denigrate her or be angry because I got sick. Big deal. People get sick. I was sick for about 3 weeks. It was bad. I could barely breathe. I was wheezing. I thought I had cancer or something, lung cancer. But either way, that's not my point here. My point is, where was the no body, my choice people during the mask mandates? During the forced shot? I don't know if they'll get mad at me for saying what it was. Where were they? They were pretty damn quiet, weren't they? They were pretty freaking quiet. What about suicide? Why is suicide illegal? My body, my choice. You want to blow your brains out with a gun. Why is that actually held as being a gun violence statistic? That doesn't make any sense. Men typically will blow their brains out or hang themselves or whatever. Women typically use pills or razor blades or whatever. Men typically blow their brains out. They don't think about who has to clean up the mess. But that's not a gun crime. That's me deciding to, or that's a person decided to end their life. How is that not under the category of my body, my choice? You know, they say it with such righteous indignation, you know. All these people were missing when all these other things were happening to other people. Not allowed to smoke a freaking joint. Didn't want to take a stupid shot. Didn't want to wear a stupid mask. Wanted to sell your body for sex or whatever. Okay, where were they? What about the taxations on sugary drinks like in cities like New York? What about the overtaxation of cigarettes? What about my body, my choice in regards to those things? Yep. I mean, those people are hypocrites as usual because in their minds, the only time my body, my choice applies is when it comes to their uterus or their vagina or whatever. You know, that's the only time it comes into play. Otherwise, they don't care about anybody else's suffering, anybody else's misery, the consequences of these ridiculous laws about these drugs and things like that, prostitution, etc. They don't care. They don't care. They're insincere people who don't really believe what they say, except when it comes to their own narcissistic, egocentric, selfish desires. I want to have all the sex I want, and anytime I make a mistake, I'll just go get it plucked out of me. No big deal, right? No big deal. Meanwhile, some guy's getting arrested for pot. Everybody's quiet. No body, my choice there. None of that my body, my choice stuff doesn't exist when it comes to something like that. I find it just disgusting. So like, I'm special because I got a vagina and a uterus, so my body, my choice. The rest of the people out there, the millions of people who've been affected by the laws against consensual crimes, everybody's quiet. Nobody says a word. These ladies back in the 70s saw the drug war going on, you know, which was aimed primarily at the hippie movement and the black population. They didn't care. They didn't care. They were thrilled that they could have as much sex as they want and not have to worry about it. They could just go get an abortion. You know. Now, I know people are going to say, what about in the case of rape and incest? You know what the percentage on that is? I looked that up. It's about 1.5% of all abortions are because of rape and incest. And if I remember correctly, 1% are from rape and 0.5% are from incest. So when they say, oh, I was rape, you know. Now, I don't know the statistics on women's lives who are in danger and all that. Of course, those are the cases you see on the news all the time. Oh, my life was in danger and they wouldn't let me get an abortion. I had to travel. I had to drive to another state to get an abortion. It's terrible. Well, have you ever thought about what it is to be a cannabis smoker? Do I need to go to Colorado so I can smoke a joint? So I'm not violating the law, you know? Or do I need to go to New Mexico? Or do I need to go to California? It's the same thing. The states make decisions. You live in that state. If you don't like it, then get out and vote. Or if you don't like it and you can't solve it through voting, then get out of the state. Simple as that. You got 50 to choose from. It's not like you're stuck in one. I happen to like Texas. I've been here probably about 3/4 of my life in Texas, off and on. I've lived in Illinois, New Mexico, and California, and Oregon, and blah, blah, blah. But I've lived in Texas by far the majority of my life. I'm happy here. I don't care about the stupid laws about abortion or pot or whatever. It's not my concern, really, in the sense of like, you know, I'm worried about it or anything, you know. But my point is, again, the abortion rights are at the same point as cannabis. It's decided by the states. Prostitution, as far as I know, is pretty much illegal everywhere in this country. You know, you'd have to go to Mexico for a legal prostitute, at least in this continent. I don't know how Canada is in regards to that, but I know Mexico is legalized and they have to have a little certificate. Of course, a lot of people don't realize that marijuana is also legal in Mexico. I think you can have up to 28 grams and grow like 6 plants per person. So they have more freedom than we do in regards to those types of crimes. Consensual crimes. And they tell us this is the land of the free, right? But when it comes to your body, you know, especially if there's taxes that can be made, and that's what the whole selling point with cannabis has been, is that they're going to make all this money off of the taxes, and, you know, be able to fund all sorts of great things and stuff like that. But then what happened? Well, the prices in the stores are a lot higher than the people who are growing it themselves and selling a bag or whatever. So people end up going to where? They end up going to the dealer on the street rather than going to the state-run shop where you're paying for the pot, you're paying taxes. That's happened everywhere, as far as I know, that has been selling marijuana. They were surprised the revenue wasn't as high as they had expected because people would still prefer to buy it off the street rather than deal with paying taxes on it and paying the inflated prices that are found in the head shops, or the, what do they call them now? They call them I don't know, the green shops. They're not head shops. Head shops used to be for selling paraphernalia or whatever. These are they have a name for them, and I can't remember the name of it. I don't live in a state, obviously. Texas is not legal. I've been to Colorado, saw how that worked. Pretty cool. But anyway, my point is, I just wanted to bitch about that a little bit because it's so hypocritical, and they stand there again, just so self-righteous. But again, what I've noticed over my lifetime is that it only seems to apply if you have a uterus or a vagina, and even then, it doesn't apply to prostitution. You know, these people that support this type of thing, I've noticed most of them are mask wearers and probably all took the little magic shot. So that says a lot about their mentality. So they're slaves to the government, you know. But then they're going to tout this "my body, my choice" stuff like they're these big freedom, freedom lovers. Anyway, it's just annoying. I just don't understand where they've been. They missed out on everything else that was going on that affected my body, my choice. You know. Of course, I saw that the anti-vax people and anti-mask people were also using that same philosophy, and of course, they were ridiculed for that. So that tells you a lot about the hypocrisy again of this "my body, my choice" philosophy. Anyway, guys, that's all. I'm done. I did some research and stuff. I wrote down a bunch of numbers and stuff. I'm not going to go into all that. You get my point. If there's anybody out there that agrees with me, drop me a comment down below. And again, I hate talking about this type of stuff, but it's just been so annoying when I think about all the people who've been affected by these types of non-consensual or consensual crimes. Marijuana smoking, possession of 4 ounces, you're in jail. Your life is ruined. You're a felon. Can't blow your brains out. We'll put you in a crazy house holding cell for 48 hours, etc. I mean, the stupid shot, the mask, everything. Anyway, again, if anybody agrees with me or thinks they've noticed this too, hey, drop me a comment. Nobody ever comments on my videos very often, so I feel like I'm just out here shooting my mouth into the void a lot of the times. That's why I don't put up a lot of videos either, because there's not much reaction. All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, a wonderful night. And this is Alvarado, and I am signing off. Good night.